Hello to everyone watching and listening, and welcome to the fourth episode of the BME podcast. My name is Gonzalo Plaza, and today we have a different type of episode. I'd say a more personal episode about biomedical engineering per se and our future. And for that, we are accompanied by Rod Menchaca, an industry leader and innovator, and Yaiza Montes, a biomedical engineer who works with Rod at ISDIN. And they will give us their vision about entrepreneurship, the role and future of biomedical engineers, and hopefully about some of their cooler projects that they have done in the years. I'm also super happy to present our co-host today. First, Ana Barredo, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine. Happy to be finally here.
I'm so happy to have you here. And also another long friend in the combat, Taital Hakiui. How are you, man?
Hi, Gonzalo. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm sure that our listeners will be as excited when they listen to our guests.
For sure. For those wondering, Mark could not assist here for some personal issues, but don't worry, he'll be back soon. So, Anna, why not start introducing our guests to the audience?
Okay, so let's go. Rod is the Global Director of Digital Skin at ISDIN, and also the former CEO of Advances in Surgery, the Netflix of surgeons. He also holds a Ph.D. in Public Relations and Communications at the Universitat Autònoma de Barcelona, And Rod is an industry leader in innovation. His motivation and knowledge to deeply understand how AI technologies can be applied to healthcare have led them to the forefront of cutting-edge technologies, like, for example, tele-mentored 5G surgeries. And notably, he has been awarded by Google with the AP award for his contributions to this field. And his commitment to ethics extends beyond her job, because he is an actual member of the UNESCO Committee for the Ethical Use of Artificial Intelligence. How are you, Rod?
Thank you very much, and happy of being the number 4.
Yeah.
Out of the podium. How is that possible?
We don't give medals.
Okay, perfect.
Don't give medals.
So we are in the right place. Thank you for hosting us. And I invited Yaiza to come with me because today we're going to talk about myths and realities of our real world out of the university, and probably Yaiza is one of the best examples that can talk and can express her experience. So thank you very much for
sure. We love to have her here. Why not also introduce Yaiza today?
Yeah, Yaiza Montes has cursed the degree of electronic engineering in Universitat de Barcelona and has a master in biomedical engineering and other in project management. She currently works as a project manager in ISDIN, and I'm sure she has a lot of things to interesting to say today.
Thank you very much for inviting me to express my experience in the program. I'm very excited. So thank you for all.
Happy to have you here.
Well, let's start with something that has come to our attention.
Mm-hmm.
You, Rod, are considered and have been awarded for that by Google as a guru in innovative technologies and artificial intelligence. Do you consider yourself such?
Well, clearly, I could be your father, all of you. And, those awards were given early 2000. So that means that everyone was just scratching the surface of what technology, internet is today, right? So we were like, YouTube was not there. Can you imagine a world without YouTube?
Not really.
No YouTube at all. Okay, so the ones that we were creating companies and we were the .coms, the .coms crew, the guys that were putting those portals together. The words portal, vortal, interactive communication, multimedia. The websites in those days, they had a menu with the name multimedia, or photos or videos. Videos and pictures were not across the websites, were in just one tab of the website altogether, okay? So in those days, I was working with the University of Phoenix in Phoenix, Arizona, and we got the request from our client to compile all the videos of the students in a single place, in this new crazy platform called YouTube. No one knew nothing about that. YouTube, what that means. A place where you can upload your videos, but you have to create your own videos. It's crazy, right? You have to have the responsibility of creating a video, then editing the video, putting audio, and uploading that video for free to a platform. That was pretty new. So they asked us, can you put together a channel, like all the videos under this category, mash it up in a single place? So we start conversations with Google, with the CTO of Google, with the head of Google, of YouTube.
So they hadn't even thought about the channel.
No, nothing.
It was
nothing.
just weird users uploading, like the zoo video, right?
Exactly. Yeah, every single video was randomly uploaded to the platform. So you could find, I don't know, Mr. Beast by the side of, La Resistencia. You know what I mean? It's like... everything mixed up. So we started. We had only 2 weeks to accomplish the mission. And we arrived to this point where the head of technology of YouTube sent us an email that I have it printed in my house that says, guys, this is the limit of our knowledge. From now on, you are on your own because we don't know how to do it. So we worked locked down for 2 weeks with a team of 7 engineers, programming, and we created the very first YouTube dedicated channel for University of
That's
Phoenix
so cool.
ever created.
I understand why the hour.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And not only this one, but so many projects you've worked on. And also maybe this is for Yaiza as well. What do you think are the skills maybe innate, maybe learned through your education, which is so diverse here, that allow you to be an entrepreneur, that allow you to have bright ideas? What are those innate and learned skills that you think are key to that?
Do you want to? Yeah, I can I start? First of all, to understand that we can make mistakes. Success is the name of the game, and we are so exposed to people having success, etc., here and there. I created a company, and after 4 months, I'm selling this company for X millions. You ask Oscar Pierre about Globo and all the pain, all the things that he had to cross before being, who he is
They
today.
were 10 and they were delivering themselves.
Yeah. So first thing, in the learning process is to understand that you are going to fail, yes or yes, and you have to prepare your mind, your body, and your soul.
And your pocket.
Not really. At the end of the day, money is there. If there is a good idea, money is always going to be there. And it's not that hard to find money. The hardest part is to understand that you are going to pivot 20 times before getting to the place where you want to go. And for me, as an entrepreneur, that's key. Because if there is only one granted thing about creating a company, is that you are going to be devastated, doomed, in the limit of the depression in one point. Yes or yes, no matter about the idea or the project. You are going to be facing yourself in front of the mirror and saying, why I am doing this? I could be working peacefully in a place with a payroll, with 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., working hours. But I'm here with a huge debt in the bank, with a lot of people, being part of my team asking me for answers, and I don't have the answers for them because I am taking and I am facing the situation in the same level. So the learning process is more about understanding yourself instead of having knowledge from the outside.
And how you'd say that you convince yourself, because as you said, when you're struggling with those problems and problems that you have never faced, how you convince yourself to keep that path and that you're doing the correct things?
Okay, not losing the north. So what that means, when you are creating a company or a project or a solution, like a simple solution that's going to facilitate something for someone, okay? So if you create that and you are struggling with funds, with capital rounds, with venture capitals, with the government, with helps, with the European Union, whatever, if you're in that world, sometimes you lose the reason why you started this. So this is this is so important. You have to fall in love with the problem and not with the solution. So when you are struggling in front of that mirror, you are going to think about money, you're going to think about time, you're going to think about pressure, and you're going to forget why and the problem that you are trying to solve. If you take a breath, like deep breath, close your eyes and go back and you have to think, okay, what's the problem that I'm solving? With this current situation, can I still solve that problem? If the answer is yes, you say, okay, no worries, I'm going to make it.
I think the key is to find the problem. I think that's, you have to be very aware of your environment, and well, sometimes it comes at you.
Yeah.
Or it's a family thing, or maybe a passion since you were young. But for example, we had a medical device subject when we had to create a medical device, and the toughest thing for me was finding the problem.
Yeah.
You could go to hospitals, and maybe the problem seemed too difficult to solve. The problem was already solved, but in the hospital they didn't know about it. Finding the right problem is also very difficult, and it has to align with your own values and interests for that to be solved. Maybe you don't even care about the problem. That could be also. So how do you think you can find that problem? Is it something you are actively looking for, or does that come passively?
I think that if the need comes to you, it gets like more personal, and you go, what he was saying, it's like you take it more personal and you can go.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. So I have two answers for that. First, how to find. I'm not going to say problem. Where you can find a vision. A vision happens before a problem. So what do you want, or in which area do you want to grow? Okay. So where do you think your expertise, your talent is going to make a difference? That's the first thing, And after that, you need to start listening. You need to take your ego and all your knowledge from the university out of the equation and be in front of someone and try to connect with that person in every single possible level, And eventually, you're going to be able to connect dots. The solution is never going to be obvious. The solution is always going to be the connection between something that someone told you 2 weeks ago and today's conversation, having a coffee with your best friend.
Totally random.
Because of, in the discovering process, you have to be obsessive about finding it. So if you're obsessive, and if you go and think, and you go to sleep thinking about it, etc., your brain is going to be your best friend telling you, hey, eureka, now I can see it. And you make the connection. I don't know, Yaiza.
Yes, I totally agree with you. The first point is make mistakes, because it's the point that makes that you can learn a lot. And also I think that it's important, the teamwork. Have a lot of people around you that help and provide you more ideas. And for me, in my experience, the most important is the people that I have around me, helping me and providing me more information, more ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
sorry. I one extra thing, because the question was double, right? So the first one was where to find the problem, and the second one is what I was saying. Let's say that's not a problem; it's the vision. To find, I think we have the responsibility of changing, the word problem for vision and mission. Okay, you're finding a vision, and then you are putting a mission together to solve that. Okay, but it's not a problem. The hardest part is that your problems are going to be real. That's an imaginary problem because it was not solved yet, right? It's in your brain. You can see it, but it's not there. The paying to your colleagues, having conversations with your partners that sometimes are not going to be easy. Sometimes, you start as friends, and after X months, you are not as friends as you were, right? Because of different. So you need to separate in your brain those two worlds, and as soon as you separate that, the real problems, are going to be part of a plan. And the initial vision and mission is going to be part of your dream. So you're going to live a little bit more peacefully.
I think when we go into the projects that we want to talk about, people are going to understand why you want to completely separate problem and vision, because the projects are so out of everyone's mind that you have to say that was a vision, not a real problem to solve.
That's correct. Yeah.
So I think people will kind of understand what we're referring to a bit later.
So I have an interesting question to you, because you come from just the opposite profiles, and we were wondering if it's like easier to be and to have a technical profile and then become project manager, or if you first try to be project manager and you think, okay, I like more the technical stuff behind, you can change. And it's like your opposite type profile, so you can...
Depends on my experience. I'm a very technical, I have a very technical profile. And then after work around 1 year as electronic engineer in a robotics company, I feel that I wasn't happy in this moment. So, and I prefer coordinate projects, talk with people, not more technical tasks with my robot, with my electronics. So I feel that I'm not happy in this moment. So I decide make a project, study a project management master, and then in this moment I feel that this was my path. So I think that it depends the person. There is no a right path to follow.
I don't know exactly, but I guess you're managing projects with a certain technical difficulty, so I guess it makes it easier for you to speak directly to the engineers or the technicals there at ISDIN. Maybe is that the case? Do you think it wouldn't have been the case?
In this moment in ISDIN, I don't have any idea about the technical part because yes, because I have a good background about electronic engineer, but in this moment I manage projects about IT, about programming, but it's not the same thing. It's the same programming language. I'm not expert in software, so when I arrived to ISDIN, the first thing that I was sitting with the technical leader, and him explained me the basics about the technical part, because I didn't have any idea.
And when you would say that you realized that that specialization was necessary for you, because from electronic engineering to a master's in biomedical engineering, and after that project management, it's not the most common thing to do. When did you realize that that was your path?
Well, I don't know. It's
Day to
day, and I think that these are the soft skills that all the people have. I think that is the most important. And I don't know.
I can elaborate on the top of this. It's going to sound hippie, it's going to sound whatever, but it's all about happiness, period,
Totally.
It's all about happiness. We were talking about ISDIN, in ISDIN we always talk about that we make healthy, happy, beautiful lives, and that's the driver of this company, but your personal driver, again, let's go back to that mirror, I have been working for like 30 years, mainly in the States, leading big departments like the behavior-driven learning department of Google, or I was the executive vice president of global health education. I was developing the learning management system for University of Phoenix for 4.3 million students around the world, like big projects. Every single one was driven by happiness. Totally. I was jumping from one place to the other with me in front of the mirror saying, I'm going to go to work or to have fun. If my own answer is I'm gonna work, I'm not doing that step. I'm not making that step. Today I don't work. today I go and I do and I give the best of myself for something that makes me super, super happy.
A change of mentality, I think.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the pattern that transverses across all these projects that actually makes you happy?
Interesting. Okay.
Because there must be one passion, two passions that must that must go across all of them. So for some people it's solving equations, for you it must be something else.
Closing circles. When you have an idea, and could be your idea, this is important, could be your idea or someone else's idea, and you can embrace an idea. There is a guy called Gilles Van Eyle that always says, give or at least put the 30% of your effort in finding someone that already crossed 30% of what you want to do, and join that person before starting something new, because you are going to empower that wheel, right? That wheel is going to spin faster. So first thing, could be your dream or someone else's, but you can embrace it. The driver, the pattern is being able to see the missing part of that circle and putting together teams and turning everything into a process to close that circle. If the goal is that YouTube channel, it's not, the programming and everything was fun, all the pizzas and all the time that was spent with engineers overnight was incredibly fun, it's going to be with me forever. But the day that we were able to ask someone, hey, upload that video, and was automatically placed into that bucket, I was super happy, and that level of happiness, at least for me, is when my sons were born, probably, you can compare that level of happiness. But closing that circle, making or understanding that you and your team were able to close the circle is the exact minute where that pattern happens again and again.
That's
it's like
so
a drug.
Cool. It's like
it's like a drug. Yes.
Yes.
I'm an addict.
But it's like you're aware that you can fail, but you're happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's his purpose. That's totally his purpose, and you can feel it. I think every one of us kind of feels a purpose. You can go back to your childhood, and there was something you liked to do, and you wanted to do that. Maybe, I don't know what was your case in school, but everyone has that kind of thing that they have a feel for, and that they're so happy for completing.
Yes.
It may be as hard as it can be, but when you finish it, and you feel so rewarded by that.
I guess at the end of the day, you're just pursuing dopamine.
Yes, and losing hair. And all of you're going to be like me eventually. No.
I hope no.
I have friends in Turkey. Do you have friends in Turkey?
No, but at the end of the day, sounds like super, happiness, what this bald guy is talking about, etc. But after all the battles and being in the trench, you suffer a lot. You put a lot of time, effort, illusions, etc. And those illusions, you need to be able to share that emotion with someone else, because that someone else is going to put money on the top of your dream, right?
Yeah.
So you are with a team of people that's pushing you, but if you are not feeling that, you are going to quit very, very soon.
Totally. I think that's why maybe you changed paths, because that didn't align with your purpose. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
It was a feel?
No, I don't know, because I don't feel that I changed the path.
Uh-huh.
I feel that
that's interesting.
I take another path, because all the experience, all the knowledge that I receive around all these years helps me every day in my actual task. For me, it's another path.
No, it's what he was saying. Make what
It's a
makes you
zigzag.
happy.
It's a zigzag, maybe.
No, and building on top of that, is, every time that someone asks me, hey, you have been involved in so many successful projects, how do you do it? Because you're in a new project and you're presenting something new and something new again and something new again. So how do you do that? And my answer is, I have a trick. I never start from scratch. I build on the top of my past projects. If I accept a project, shouldn't be that far from what I did in the last one, because I already have a piece of it built. So this is why I can grow with certain level of stability on each project.
I like both things that you talk about, because first, that's so smart to do, I guess. You first follow your purpose, and you don't deviate that much from what you've done in the past, so that you're always in the middle of, let's say, order and chaos. You're right there with one foot in chaos because it's a new project, with one foot in the complete order. So you're right on track. That's, I think, why you feel so good by starting new projects, finishing them. And you always need, I think, to do another one.
Absolutely.
You always need to, because then it will be too much order, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, the Leonardo da Vinci said, he invented the sfumato. You know what the sfumato means? That blurry thing behind the Gioconda, etc., etc. That's something that you need to accept because it's there. But at the end of the day, it's the blurry thing that makes everything to be balanced. So, yeah.
Shout out to Fernando Giraldez. Shout out to our professor. Great class. He gave us a great class about that, yeah.
Excellent.
Totally. So, do you think we should go into the projects, or... Yeah, I guess so, right?
If you allow us, we would like to touch upon a most science fiction project that you participated in. And it is the Neurons being trained to play Pong.
Yes.
Could you let us know a little bit about this topic?
All right. Yeah, that's crazy, and I have a premiere for you guys. So you're going to see it before the Mobile World Congress.
This is so cool.
So yes. So I'm gonna talk about that later. This is a teaser.
Yeah, we wait.
The Neurons. Well, the Neurons, is a project led by Cortical Labs in Melbourne, Australia. A team of engineers. In fact, Han, the leader, the CEO of that project, is coming in 3-4 days. I don't know if for the audience, but for you guys, at least for you guys, I'm gonna make sure that we're having a coffee with him. Okay.
Totally.
So just to blow your brains and your minds off. Okay.
Explain, our audience must be right now.
Okay. So the thing was, so to put together organic artificial intelligence is possible. That was the question. The hypothesis. Is that possible? Elon Musk is doing something with Neuralink. But yeah, can we do it outside of the brain? Can we have neurons cultivated outside and make them react to something? That was the initial hypothesis. Han and his team, they start working, in creating an electrochemic plate. So with transforming digital signals into electrochemical signals, and then stimulating the neurons and observing their reactions. So if the stimulation was ABC, the neurons were giving F, Q, L, etc., etc. So all of that, years and years, obviously, of learnings. And then, in parallel, we were training the system, the artificial intelligence system, to play the video game Pong. But not only that video game. We had a plan B, which was the Google dinosaur. And to play with the dinosaur. In fact, the neurons are better playing the dinosaur. Okay, but we were not able to do it because of the copyrights. We were not sure about, if Google were.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we did was first, train the system, in playing that video game, then sending that signal in real time from Barcelona to Melbourne, Australia. Okay, we did that with some portions of 5G, etc. That signal was received there. The system took that AI coding. We turned that to electrochemical signals that was sent to the plate where the neurons were living. We call it the house of the neurons, which we have 800,000 neurons living there. The neurons were stimulated, floating in this liquid, okay? And then the neurons were reacting. And that reaction was reading by the system and sent back, and that reaction was to play the game. So actually the neurons take them 4 to 7 minutes to actually learn.
More.
And then the accuracy is over 87%. So basically,
great.
we're
They're
talking.
better than me.
We are yes, we are talking about in a near future. You know, the possibility of you're super young, okay, but the movie Matrix. You know, Matrix, which is a classic, where one of the characters, you know, Trinity, she was like, "Hey, send me, you know, the instructions to pilot this helicopter," and it's like, "Tuk, tuk, 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 tuk." Well, you know, in a near future, we are going to be able to plug knowledge that was not there before. But the biggest problem is more philosophical. You know, we are going to be able to use that knowledge without context. So if I train you, all of you, you know, to be ninjas tomorrow, okay, the Bushido ninjas, etc., you know, no, samurais or whatever, what you are going to do with that knowledge? You are going to go out and start killing people, or jumping trees, or going to the shadows to disappear, you know. So yeah.
Maybe just having good grades in my exam.
Well, but you know, in this specific project, the ethical conversation and the philosophical conversation beyond the technical part, which is already done.
Yep.
And you are going to see it in this Mobile World Congress every hour, we're going to have the Neurons playing the video game live in the Mobile World Congress. Okay. So we are going to have that in Barcelona, so you're going to be able to see it. But
So cool.
but the philosophical question is not that, because it can be done today. There is a technical thing, which is, you know, the movie Finding Nemo, the neurons, you know, Dory. Do you remember Dory? So our neurons are Dories, because after the liquid is burned by them, because they evaporate the liquid. After that happens, they forget everything.
So, can I ask now? So,
Yes.
is the training okay? So you have your AI code sends a signal A
Yeah.
to the neurons,
Yes.
signals output B,
Yes.
and they miss.
Yes.
So now you bring it back here and says, what does
Positive
it do?
reinforcer. Yes.
What does it do? It sends C, and the neurons respond D.
Yes.
But every time, so my question is, every time I'm sending A, do they respond B, or are they actually changing their
they are
behavior?
changing their behavior.
They change their behavior. It's not even.
No.
So I was thinking maybe the code learns what the neurons are outputting, right? If I send A, they send B, so I don't want to send A, I'll send C. No, they change. For every
yeah.
A, they change.
Yeah. They
It's
change.
crazy. How
crazy.
How the hell does that happen?
That's the thing. We don't know.
How the hell does that? No, that's
the
mind
thing.
blowing.
We don't know
Okay,
what
that's
happens
tough.
inside of the neurons,
No,
and
that's crazy.
that's the biggest question mark here. You know, I had a conversation with a
Crazy.
high-level representative of the church. Yes, I got a phone call from someone very high level, from a very strict Catholic institution. We know the institution that I'm talking about.
We know.
Okay, so he called me. He said, "I am this person, very important. So I have a question for you. So my teams, my experts told me that you did this, which is amazing. We went to the mayor house with Ada Colau. We have the media around. You saw it in the news, etc. Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations. It's a big achievement. But if they told me, you know, the truth, you were able to create the software, send the signal, turn that signal into electrochemical, then make the neurons react, you know, learn from that process, and then, you know, turn it into an answer, you know, and a response to actually, you know, allow them to play the game, right? But my scientifics are telling me that you don't know what happens inside of the neuron. And my answer was, not today, but probably in the near future we will know. His answer was, you will never know, because that's God.
That's a bold statement. That's a bold
We'll
statement.
see, we'll see.
That's God. Okay. So after that answer, you know, you actually see that you are touching a limit here. You know, you are playing with something that goes beyond just the purely technical part. You know, there are other conversations that we should have as a society about where we want to go. In fact, the secret of this Mobile World Congress that I'm going to tell today is that we are going to present the very first computer that works with blood. With blood. Okay? So this is the evolution of the Neurons project. It's going to be in the Journey to the Future hall, in the hall 6, main hall. Okay, so you're all going to see it because it's in a prime location. Okay? So we're going to have a computer it's like this size. Okay? So you actually put blood in. That blood is turned into stem cells. Those stem cells are turned into neurons. And then we can do whatever we want with those neurons inside of the computer. Initially, the idea is to test new drugs, new treatments, etc., replicating a little bit like a human body. So the computer works with lungs, with liver, with everything is mechanical, obviously, but it's going to be the very first biological-driven computer ever presented.
It's crazy. I have no words.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
I guess it will be more expensive than gamer setups nowadays.
Oh, that's a little bit far, but it's interesting. It's interesting, especially knowing that materials. Okay, and this is another conversation, but materials are not endless, right? So ChatGPT, AI, etc. We see the possibilities of this, but we are not thinking about all the technical side that you have to build to make that happen. Okay, so hyperconductors, graphene, etc. That's limited in the planet. But organic isn't. So probably we will see in a near future an organic processor in a cell phone.
Well, and it's also it doesn't have to work on super cold temperatures.
No,
just can work at
Yep.
body temperature, so it's much more energy efficient, I guess. I don't know.
But we need to solve about that solution.
And the ethical problem of it. I think it's super important. Okay, could you touch a bit more upon that part? What are you guys doing at the committee? And
yes, well, we are not ready. If you see the new European law of artificial intelligence, I don't know if you were exposed to that or not.
To the title.
Yeah, but
To the title, I can send you the book for you to read it. Okay, so it's a very good attempt to start raising the hand and saying, guys, this is important. Okay, we have to have some responsibility on the top of it because everything is possible with it. The thing is, should we do everything? Because there is this risk, and you as young brains, you are going to be the ones solving the problem. Fortunately, it's not going to be my problem. I can see that the problem is coming, okay, but it's not going to be mine. Probably I'm going to be giving classes in the university talking about it, but nothing but that, like your professor. The problem is AI or any system that works with efficiency as the center provides you efficient way to do things. The most efficient way to do things is not the most creative way to do things. Creativity is the flame that changes everything, right? If you are creative, you are changing something because you are thinking, as Einstein said, if you want to have a different result, don't do the same things, right? AI is all about doing the same things to make them perfect. Faster, simpler, easier. If that's true, we are closing the doors to innovation forever. Because if you are out of the efficiency, it's going to be super hard to convince someone to put money in your idea. The entrepreneurs of the future are going to have hard times because the fund, the capital, the venture capital, whatever the future is going to have an AI system that's going to evaluate your project based on the efficient projects of the past. And with more data, it's going to be even harder to convince someone to do something in a different way. So, in simple terms, with AI, we are not investing in the innovation of the future. We are investing in the efficiency of the present. And this is a conversation that's happening in the committee. It's probably way beyond the ideas that you have in your brain about, hey, how our students are using this in the school, faking your homework, no, that's the easy part. The hard part is that other one. How to put the chaos, how to put the anarchy in the system to allow dreamers to dream.
I think this comes to the values of our society, utilitarianism, which we are so US based. I would say we want everything to be as efficient as possible. So investors are we are all in this culture, all in this way of thinking. So maybe creativity is just reserved for the arts nowadays, I would say, or
not the art today. If you go, you do Puzzle X, the Congress of the Future of Quantum, etc., etc. Probably out of 250 keynoters, 70 were artists, AI artists.
AI artists.
Yeah, Soliman Lopez, for example, he's I encourage you to visit him. He's all about science, AI, and art, and it's AI. so not even art is not out of this chaos.
Efficiency in art, that's difficult to understand. Okay.
I don't know, because this.
Can we do another episode of
No,
computers?
but think about this, Anna. If you can do something today, easier, faster, simpler, you're gonna do it.
I hope
it's a no-brainer. You want to use it for sure. You don't want to take the hard way to do it. You don't want to fail. If a system is telling you, if you do it this way, you're going to succeed, you're going to take that way because we are humans. We were born to save energy and time. That's our nature. We're creating a tool that helps our nature to survive because it's part of our DNA.
It's like to improve human minds.
Yes. So you had Mariano. He's creating digital twins.
Yeah,
probably
we had him.
Probably LM. An amazing company. Probably they have an answer. An answer of creating a replica of a human that can make mistakes and not be inefficient. And if I can give you a tip to you and to all of you, dreamers of the future, probably there is a place to create companies to put some chaos in the AI systems, to replicate scenarios where things are not efficient, to allow dreamers to put their dreams there and to test some things out of the world that's going to be 100% efficient. You know what I mean? So are companies and ideas that doesn't exist yet, that are going to exist.
Yeah, but we were thinking that IA makes learn, that they learn things. Like, you don't think that if they are aware that they are not efficient enough, they will learn to be and become more efficient?
Yes, if every single one of us were an entrepreneur and a dreamer, but we aren't.
No.
We are, when we have things, happening easy, we naturally fall in that trap and we're like,
do it.
Just do it. It's not, I'm not going to, why you would change something that's working? Why? To make your life worse? To be up in the middle of the night thinking about that you don't have money to pay to your colleagues that are betting for you in your startup? Come on, hell no. I don't want that. I want a simple life and a successful life.
Can you, because I have to think about this, can you, because if you're discussing it there, it must be clearly important. And with this, I think we're going to wrap up maybe this conversation because we're going a bit long.
Sorry for that.
Can you give one, because I'm thinking about, computer companies or stuff like that. You want it to be efficient. Can you give me one example about a company? And maybe this may be very stupid because we're thinking about this, but can you give me an example about a company in which we don't want efficiency to be the major driver?
Okay.
Or
okay.
Success the major driver?
I have it.
Because there are some which clearly are like that.
I have it, and I can talk about this because, the project is down, so I can disclose some things. With Google, we started creating a brain to help surgeons from advances in surgery, to help surgeons to be efficient. As like a Garmin, after every surgery, the system was watching and surveilling your surgery with computer vision, understanding your steps, and after that giving you a ranking of your efficiency, surgical efficiency. Okay?
Wow.
La Superliga.
Okay, yes. So we spent $1.4 billion in that project. Okay, hundreds of engineers in the Googleplex in Palo Alto. We were there with a team, etc., etc. Today, that team is not there. Everyone was fired after spending that big time money for this reason. When we presented this to the leaders of the hospitals around the world, not only in Spain, around the planet, the first reaction of them was not, oh, perfect, they can learn about their mistakes and they can be better surgeons in the next surgery, which was the ultimate goal of this. No, the answer was, oh, so I can fire the ones that are not following my rules and are using more equipment and not being as efficient as the others. But was not one reaction, was the reaction of every single one of them.
It's the thing that comes to my mind also.
Yes, to your mind, and you're not the CEO of a hospital.
No, not even.
So a tool that was built to improve brains. So in which hands do you want to be? You were asking me the question, in which hands? In the hands of a surgeon that's trying to save time and resources of the hospital, or in the hands of the best surgeon that's thinking about you and probably taking more time because of your uniqueness, the uniqueness of your body, and understanding you as a person and not as an efficient thing to.
Yeah, there's clearly I would say a unique attribute to human action that cannot be learned by a machine,
or maybe yes,
but from your point of view, maybe
but the ones that are making decisions,
the machine is not touching it. I think that's the key part. It's not embodied. It
Correct.
could be embodied, right? But the surgeon has that feel.
Correct, but the machine lives in a virtual world, which doesn't follow the rules of the real world. So that's the thing. There's not a CEO in the virtual world making that decision of firing someone because of lack of efficiency. So that's the biggest thing. But my message is, I am all about AI. By the way, I am all about artificial intelligence. I love artificial intelligence, but I am one of the ones that, after spending big time money on this, is raising the hand and saying, guys, we need to stop for a second and think together. It's not the message of Elon Musk and company, saying stop because that was a commercial movement because of the Chinese, etc. That's another story. I'm just saying it from a human standpoint. Hey, are we ready for this that's going to happen, and are we ready to put AI in the AI basket and continue making our own decisions, or we're going to give it the credibility that probably have? I don't know. I don't have the answer.
I guess we are already in that point that we are going beyond our limits and discovering some things that we weren't prepared for. But to wrap up all this amazing talk, and thank you for all this interesting stuff. Do you have a piece of advice for all the biomedical engineers, project managers, electronic engineers that are going to start their career?
Okay, yes. Don't follow shiny masters, shiny objects, shiny postgraduate programs, etc. I know that's the name of the game, and I know that everyone is telling you, if you don't have a master, you are no one. If you don't have this, you are not going to. That's not true. That's not true. I'm leading a huge team right now. Yes, to have a formal education is important. To have commitment, to have, desire for learning every day, to have loyalty, etc. Are things that are more important. And my advice is, go out, get in the system first, learn, make mistakes. Talk to people, go to any congress that you can go, or any startup, whatever, search, make your own mistakes. Don't just think that by having more knowledge, you're going to be more ready for the world. the world is going to tell you after a year of day by day suffering, probably, with a shitty salary, and in a horrible condition. Yeah, I am a biomedical engineer. I spent so many hours in learning, and I deserve minimum 3,000 euros a month, minimum. Take that completely out of your brain. Go through the valley of the desert, have some, hard time, learn, and then after a year and a half, again in front of the mirror, okay, now I know who I am, what the reality is, what should I know to be better,
And be
to
happy.
achieve my dream, and be happy.
Totally agree.
Great point.
And with that, you are going to be able to go to your master, or probably it's not a master, it's just a course that's going to be driven or shaped to the position where you are and to the new dreams and the new happiness that you have.
Thank you so much. That was very aligned with what Mariano said. Just go out in the world.
Really?
And
Mariano, he's a monster.
yeah, he was great. He was
Yes,
great.
He's great.
So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time, your knowledge, everything that you told us. It's amazing. If I was watching, I would want another episode on
Yeah.
that damn computer. yeah.
Well,
Part 2.
Part 2.
We
Better
can-
than
maybe,
one.
maybe
we can
part 2.
probably I can. I'm not going to make the formal commitment, but I'm gonna try to bring Han from Cortical Labs with me to talk about that deeply. Talking about that.
We would love that.
Be
We would
great.
love
very
that.
very technical.
We would love
And
that.
if not, we can do it remotely.
Okay. Yeah, we would love that. We have to talk about that.
Okay.
Definitely. let's close up. Thank you so much. Great experience.
Thank you,
Thank
And
you.
that's
Thank
it.
you
Thank you.
for
Thanks
coming.
for
Thank
everyone
you
for
watching
listening.
and listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our socials. And see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.